I'm going to be adding one NHL legend to every single franchise across the league, and we are going to see what team benefits the most because of it. So I went to every single team's alumni team besides Seattle, Utah, and Vegas. They are not going to be in this universe simply because they don't have an alumni team and they don't have any legends. They are still way too early on in their franchise's history. But for the remainder of the league, I've gone across and added one legend to the current team here in NHL 25. We are going to simulate and we are going to see what team dominates this sim. So starting off with the Anaheim Ducks, they are going to pick up a 93 overall Scott Niedermayer. He's 27 years old. I believe every single legend will be 27. Bobby Orr will join the Boston Bruins. Buffalo will pick up goaltender Dominic Hasek, who's up at a 93 overall. Calgary will grab a 91 overall Jerome Iginla. Carolina will pick up their current coach in Rod Brindamore, who's an 87. Chicago will have Glenn Hull as their starting goalie at a 93. Colorado picks up Joe Sakic, who's a 94 and is the fourth highest player on this roster already. Columbus obviously has to be Rick Nash at an 88. Mike Modano for the Dallas Stars, who's a 90. Detroit will pick up Mr. Hockey and Gordie Howe at a 95. Obviously, it's going to be Gretzky for the Oilers. He's only a 98 in this game. Florida will pick up my favorite goaltender of all time in Bobby Lou, 91 overall for Roberto Luongo. Los Angeles will have a 92 overall Luke Robitaille. The Minnesota Wild, I guess they're going to pick up Owen Nolan. They really have probably the thinnest alumni team out of anybody in this game. You got Patrick Waugh for the Montreal Canadiens at a 96 overall. Moving on to Nashville, I guess I went with PK Subban, 87 overall. He's back in the game, baby, and he's on Nashville. The Devils obviously have prime Martin Brodeur, 94 overall. The Islanders are going to pick up Dennis Potvin at a 92. The New York Rangers will pick up the captain, the leader in Mark Messier at a 94. Ottawa picks up Daniel Alfredson, former captain of the team. He's an 89. Philly has Eric Lindros at a 92. Lemieux, obviously, for the Penguins, he's going to be a 96. Joe Thornton for the San Jose Sharks, he's going to be up there at a 92 overall. St. Louis will get Brett Hall. If we move on to Tampa Bay, Marty St. Louis, the current coach of Les Montreal. Toronto will pick up Matt Sundin at a 91 overall. The Vancouver Canucks, we know we had to go with the Sedin sisters with Daniel and Henrik, both at a 90. Washington will have Adam Oates. And finally, for the Winnipeg Jets, it is Teemu Selanne at a 92 overall. So now that we know the rosters, we are just going to go ahead and simulate to see who dominates this universe with all NHL legends. Well, not all, but at least one per team. Before we go ahead and do so, if you guys enjoy videos like this, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, do the thing, you know it. I also added in 3 European hockey teams to replace Utah, Vegas, and Seattle because they did not have a single, and I mean a single legend. Of course, they don't have an alumni team. They're too young. At the end of year number 1, not really a surprise as Edmonton goes 60-18-4, the best team in the league, followed by Ottawa. Now, that one's kind of surprising. They did pick up Danny Alfredson, who's only like an 89 overall. Winnipeg with Teemu Selanne. We got Boston with Bobby Orr. Vancouver was up there, as well as the Rangers at the bottom. Outside of the European teams, Anaheim getting a prime Scott Niedermayer was not good enough. Only 34 wins in this loaded NHL now that there's more better players in the league. The great one, Wayne Gretzky, will lead the NHL in scoring with 62 goals, tied alongside Brett Hall, but he would have the most points at 132. McDavid popped 127. Draisaitl was up there. A lot of Oilers are probably going to dominate this sim, and I am not apologizing for that. Kucherov had a good year. Zach Hyman, Brett Hall had 102 points. A lot of these legends weren't really outproducing the younger players. Bobby Orr had 20 goals and 98 points as a D-man. On the goal side, he passed at 61. Lemieux was a goal-scoring machine at 58. The rest of them are mostly just current players. Connor Bedard outproduced a lot. Connor Bedard literally outproduced Gordie Howe. 41 goals, 88 points. Meanwhile, Bedard, actually, wait a minute. He had more goals, not more points. My bad. If we take a look at the goalies here, yes, sir, the best goaltender in the world, Skin Daddy, 48 wins, leading all goaltenders. Vasi was up there. Roberto Luongo is the highest legend with the most wins at 36. Linus Ullmark will have the most shutouts at 7. Swayman had 6. Vasi was up there. Patrick Waugh had a lot of shutouts, not a lot of wins on the Montreal Canadiens. Stuart Skinner had 5. Bobby Lou had 5 himself. And here we go. This is our year number 1 playoff bracket. I'm interested to see who moves on and plays for the Stanley Cup in the finals. And now in year number 1 in the Stanley Cup finals, we have the Edmonton Oilers up against the Detroit Red Wings. Two classic teams in the NHL. Gordie Howe versus Wayne Gretzky, a best of 7. Let's see who comes out on top. All right, here we go. Game number 1, a 3-1 lead for Detroit after 1. After 2, the Edmonton Oilers storm back, and we got ourselves a game here. A 4-3 lead for the Oilers in Game 1 of the Cup Finals. They were down 3-1, which was a little unfortunate. We are halfway through the third period now. And Detroit, you guys only have 24 shots on net. Oilers are outplaying them. And they're going to take home the Game 1 victory. No, we got Joe Veleno scoring. And Connor McDavid, with 2:30 left to go in the third, will score the game winner. And the Oilers take Game 1. Well, that was a pretty weird Game 1, a high-scoring affair. And again, here, a 4-3 lead this time for the Red Wings heading into the third. Hopefully, they don't blow 2 games in a row to the Oilers. Tarasenko will score the insurance marker. Derek Ryan, though, he gets them back to within 1. The Oilers are not out of this yet. There's still 10 minutes to go in this third period. Bouchard ties it up at 5 apiece, and we have ourselves a game. The Oilers will not be denied over the Red Wings. I don't even know who's in the net. I think it might be Ville Husso still. We have overtime here in Game 2. Come on, somebody score the winner. We will be hopping it, and there it is. Never mind. Connor McDavid on Ville Husso, and he has back-to-back game winners in the Cup Finals. I mean, just lock up the goddamn Conn Smythe Trophy, why don't you? Connor McDavid has been him, despite Gretzky having 18 goals and 30 points so far. Oilers up 2-0 in the series. 2 game winners from Connor McDavid, and they are dominating here in Game 3. 4-1 lead in the third period. 4-2 though, Lucas Raymond. If Edmonton had scored 5, I might have been out of here. But still, we got ourselves a game. It's only 2 goals. I've seen, there it is, Alex DeBrincat back to within 1. The Detroit Red Wings are not going to roll over, mate. 6 minutes remaining. They tie the game up. Patrick Kane on Stuart Skinner. And the Edmonton Oilers on Uno reverse card as they are blowing the lead here in game number 3. All right, back-to-back overtime frames. We might actually have to hop into one of these games possibly, as the Oilers and the Red Wings are going back and forth. 7 minutes remain here in the overtime frame. We don't have a winner. Power play for Edmonton. Are they going to score? No, they do not score. The Red Wings get a power play. No goal as well. We are now currently in second overtime here in Game 3 of this. There it is. Leon Draisaitl, game winner. 47 shots, and the Oilers have a 3-0 series lead. All right, Detroit's season is on the line. The Stanley Cup is in the building, and in the third period, we're all knotted up at 1 apiece. All right, this has been somewhat of a close series. I mean, despite the fact, there it is, Patrick Kane, 2-1 lead for the Red Wings. What was I saying? Despite the fact that it's a 3-0 series lead for the Oilers, every game has been competitive. And there it is. Hall gives them an insurance marker. And that might do it here for Game 4. The Red Wings will not be swept, and we are headed back to Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Every game from here on out is an elimination game, and the Cup will be in the building. The Oilers have a 4-3 lead heading into the third period here. Detroit on the power play. They tie it up. Alex DeBrincat. We got a tie game, baby. Zach Hyman, or should I say Shaq Hyman, and Evander Kane. 2 quick goals from the Oilers, and now they have a 6-4 lead. 7 minutes remaining in this third period. Well, here we are in a 6-4 hockey game. 2:35 remaining in the third period as the Edmonton Oilers are now 2 minutes away from raising the Stanley Cup if they can hold on to this lead. The Oilers obviously coming into it were favorites, and take a look at that. A Gretzky, McDavid, Rantanen, and then I think it was Dylan Larkin after that. A duo of Connor and Wayne would be absolutely filthy. 1:40 remaining in this third period. 2 of the best players of all time. The best player and the greatest player. So that's hard to beat as Edmonton. There he is. Wayne Gretzky. Oh, Wayne Gretzky. Toe drag over to McDavid. McDavid coming in. Great shot on net. And there is Mr. Hockey. Gordie Howe just got laid out in the background. I don't know if you guys saw that. Cat coming in. DeBrincat loses it to Evan Bouchard. Over to Matthias Ekholm. Empty net. Has Hyman. Gets laid the fuck out. Holy shit. Gustafsson shooting. And Skinner will make the easy save. Bouchard. Move that up, Bouchard. Get it out, buddy. Come on, Bouchard. Where are you going? Get the puck out. There we go. He's going to skate it the length of the ice. And then he could have taken like 3 or 4 more strides, but elects to go for the long empty netter and misses it, of course. One final rush for the Red Wings here. Oh, never mind. They got trapped into their own zone. I think it's Nuge and Draisaitl doing work on the boards. 12 seconds remaining. It's a 2-goal lead, so only Mata coming in, shooting. Great save by Skinner, and that is pretty much going to do it. The Edmonton Oilers are your year number 1 Stanley Cup champions as they defeat the Detroit Red Wings in 5 games in the Cup Finals. They went up 3-0, pretty dominant despite the fact that every game was pretty much close. It was a very close hockey series, but the better team came out on top, and that is because of a duo of Connor McDavid and Wayne Gretzky just being absolutely lights out in the postseason. As McDavid will take home the Conn Smythe Trophy. He had 8 goals and 32 points. Wayne was up there as well. He could have been an option. But my glorious king, Connor McDavid, and those beautiful eyes will win his 2nd Conn Smythe of his career. Not to mention that we're in the thick of it now. The Stanley Cup is being raised. Shout out KSI for that glorious song. And the Edmonton faithful are finally, after last year's Stanley Cup final defeat in Game 7, here in year number 1, McDavid will raise the cup as the Oilers are Stanley Cup champions in season number 1.
From the game to the couch to the pen to the king to the ring.
Now, for the entire playoffs, Gretzky did have the most goals at 19 and the most points at 33, and he still did not win the Conn Smythe Trophy. McDavid stole it from him. Maybe he was more valuable. Who knows? Leon had a good playoff run. He had 15 goals. Brantanen was dominant. Gordie Howe had 8 goals and 27 points in the postseason. And if we take a look at the goaltenders here, is there any legends? Glenn Hall had 5 wins, a .905 save percentage. Wayne Gretzky is the greatest player of all time. Evan Bouchard will take home the Norris. McDavid the Conn Smythe. Allmark will win the Vezina. And Selke will go to Alexander Barkov. Now, I can't lie to you. I want the Edmonton Oilers to go 3 straight here, win every single Stanley Cup, and just straight up dominate the rest of the league. But that's probably not going to be the case. We'll probably have a new winner. Who knows? Maybe the Oilers are just that damn good. If the Red Wings or maybe another team like Pittsburgh decides to emerge as a Stanley Cup contender, obviously the Pens roster surrounding Lemieux and Crosby isn't as good as the Edmonton Oilers one. Moving on to the second season, yet again, the Oilers will dominate 62-17-3 record at the top of the league. Then Dallas, who had 55 wins. The Predators, surprisingly, were up there. St. Louis and then Colorado at the bottom. The worst NHL team was the Capitals. Leon Draisaitl will have the most points in the league at 125, followed by Gretzky's 122. McKinnon had a great year. McDavid and Crosby both point producing like they usually do. Brett Hull's the only legend that's really been simulating legendary, I should say. He had 105 points. Lemieux was up there 105, so he was kind of producing. Modano had 102. Luke Robitaille 101. On the goal side, we got Kaprizov leading all skaters with 64. Brett Hull had 61. Draisaitl 57. Crosby was up here at 37 years old, putting up 51 goals. Is there any legends that produced like a 40, 50 goal season? We had Lemieux and Gretzky. Those two are like locks, honestly. We got Luke Robitaille putting up 43 and Teemu Selanne 39 for the goaltenders in the league. Again, Skinner will have the most wins at 49. Martin Brodeur put up 38 wins, and he's the only other legend to be here. On the shutout side, Thatcher Demko, most in the NHL at 8, followed by Sorokin and a bunch of other goaltenders having 6. Martin Brodeur did have 5, though, so shout out to the best goalie of all time. Yet again, we're back at it. This is our year number 2 playoff bracket. Now back in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Oilers made it for a second season in a row, but this time they're up against the Carolina Hurricanes, who only picked up like an 87 overall Rod Brind'Amour, so it wasn't like we added a legit superstar. No offense, brother, but 87 is not going to point produce like a 97, hence Wayne Gretzky. So best of 7, rematch of 06. Let's see who goes on and takes home the Stanley Cup. We knew the Edmonton Oilers took an early series lead against the Red Wings last season. They won the first 3 games of the series, so they're trying to do that again. Up 3-2 as Wayne Gretzky gives them the lead on Freddie Anderson. The Carolina Hurricanes, I gotta be real with you. Unless EA just pulls off some sim madness, I don't think they really stand a chance up against my Edmonton Oilers. 3 minutes remaining in this third period, and the Oilers will take game number 1. We now move on to game 2, a clean slate as the Edmonton Oilers heading into the third have a 2-0 lead over Carolina. I mean, the only weakness really of this team is probably their goaltending and Stuart Skinner, but he is the best goalie in the world, so he's going to do his job. 2-0 lead, Carolina. There we go. Chatfield gets one on Skinner. They're back to within 1. Oh my God, look at the beard on that dude. Regardless, 2 minutes remaining in the third period, and that is all she wrote. The Oilers will win 3-1, 4-1 actually, and take a 2-0 series lead. If only this is all it took, adding a prime Wayne Gretzky to the Oilers to us just dominate the rest of the league. I mean, a 3-1 series lead, all chances or all likelihood. There it is, 4-1, Draisaitl on Anderson. We're probably going to go up 3-0 over this series, just like we did last year. And you know what? There might be a dynasty forming here in Edmonton as they win Game 3, take a 3-0 series lead, and now with the possibility to get the brooms out and sweep the Hurricanes. Here we go. Game 4. The cup is in the building. Carolina trying not to get swept in front of their hometown fans. That would be embarrassing. Personally, me, I would not allow that to happen. But we got a 2-2 tie in the third period, so the Oilers do not have the lead. Shots are 27-25 Edmonton. And 8 minutes to go. We get a very tight game here in the Game 4. Oh, power play for the Oilers. They do not capitalize, though. 2 minutes remaining, 1 minute, and we are headed to overtime, baby. Overtime could go either way, especially in this real-time sim engine. You never truly know what's going to happen. Power play for Carolina. They don't get anything done on it. And there it is. The Edmonton Oilers will go on and defeat the Carolina Hurricanes in 4 straight games, 4 different fashions, and they are your back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. Of course, I had to go in playoff mode, considering the fact that I completely forgot the Edmonton Oilers were on the verge of winning the Stanley Cup in overtime. I should have hopped in. Regardless, we get the conclusion that we got in the simulation, which was the Oilers over the Canes. And there is the Stanley Cup for a second season in a row being presented to the Edmonton Oilers as they gone back-to-back, maybe 3 straight here in the sim. We might have an Oilers dynasty, which conveniently enough might be my favorite video of all time. But regardless, there is McDavid coming to raise the cup yet again as now a 2-time cup winner, back-to-back champion. He's got 2 Conn Smythes, and he's in his bag, baby. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Gretzky were all dynamic, 24, 23, and 23 points, leading the Edmonton Oilers to their back-to-back Stanley Cup victory. Leon will take home the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. Kaprizov wins the Maurice Richard. Makar the Norris. The Conn Smythe did go to Wayne Gretzky. We got Stuart Skinner taking home the Vezina. And yet again, Alexander Barkov, the Selke. Now, as we move into the third and final season, the Boston Bruins were the best team, winning 51 games, losing 19, 12 in overtime. So 114 points came from all those overtime losses. We got the Dallas Stars being up here, the back-to-back champs in Edmonton, Colorado, and Winnipeg. And at the bottom, we got the Columbus Blue Jackets. Poor Rick Nash, man. He's just got to rot away on this terrible franchise. Make no mistake about it, though. Rick Nash was him back in the day. McDavid will lead the league in scoring, 124 points, followed by Gretzky's 122. Rantanen, McKinnon, and Kucherov were all up there. And if we take a look at the goals, Draisaitl will have the most at 67. Kaprizov at 64. Brett Hull had 60. Bedard 50. Dear God, Gretzky had 43. The legends haven't really been producing, honestly. Even the goaltenders aren't doing that good. Dominic Hasek was up there in wins with 43. Hellebuck had the most at 45. I don't see any other goaltending legends for shutouts. We got Hasek tying for the most alongside, there it is, the best goalie in hockey currently, Stuart Skin Daddy Skinner. Marc-Andre Fleury, he's not really a legend right now. He's still currently competing in the league. Roberto Luongo had 434 wins, a 915 save percentage, which, I mean, isn't bad. Looking at save percentage, Hasek had a 919, Bobby Lou had a 915. Any more legends up here? Marty had, what did he have? 914 is not bad. And now this is our third and final playoff run. Chicago Oilers round number 1, be nice. Maybe we see the Oilers in their 3rd straight finals appearance. Who knows? Well, we have 2 brand new teams here in the Stanley Cup finals between the Winnipeg Jets and the Buffalo Sabres. Dominic Hasek versus Teemu Selanne. Those are the 2 legends that are competing. The Oilers sadly lost to Winnipeg in 5 games in the conference finals, so they will not be three-peating, and we will have a brand new Stanley Cup winner. All right, here we go. Game 1 of the Cup finals. Heading into the 3rd, we're all knotted up at 1 apiece. Connor Clifton will take the lead for Buffalo, and Connor Hellebuyck and JJ Peterka gives them an insurance marker. Can Buffalo, on the back of Dominic Hasek, who's probably on a hot streak right now, win the Stanley Cup for the first time ever in franchise history? 7 minutes remain in this the 3rd period, my bad. And that will do it. Buffalo will take game 1, 3-1 over the Jets. Actually, 4-1, my bad. EA just has to embarrass me in front of my audience every single time. Here we go. Game 2. Buffalo has a 1-0 series lead and a 4-3 lead here in the third period. Winnipeg on the power play. Can they get a goal? They do. PP goal by Nino Niederreiter on Dominic Hasek, who surprisingly has allowed over 4 goals in this. Actually, it's exactly 4 goals. 5 minutes remain in this third period. And we might have OT here in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. We are headed to overtime. I'm very interested to see who takes the lead here. Maybe Buffalo goes up 2-0. That would be exciting. Seeing Dominic Hasek raise the cup. And Buffalo fans, they don't have shit to cheer about anyways. Why not get them a cup victory here in NHL 25? They deserve it, right? And the Buffalo Sabres, Owen Power will score the game winner on Hellebuck 46 shots later. And they have a 2-0 series lead here in the Stanley Cup Finals. All right, this is close as you can get to a must-win game for Winnipeg. Heading into the third, we got a tie game 1-1. Winnipeg cannot fall down 3-0 or that series is over. So they got to win this game, try to win the next game too. But they're in Buffalo. The crowd is rocking. They get a 2-0 series lead. Buffalo has all the momentum in the world, but right now we're at a stalemate 1-1 here in the third period. And it looks like we'll have overtime for back-to-back games here in the Cup Finals. I'll knot it up at 1 apiece. And Winnipeg, there it is. Nikolai Ehlers on Dominic Hasek, and they finally get their first win in the series. This is a very pivotal game number 4. We either head back to Winnipeg all tied up at 2, or the Buffalo Sabres possibly have a 3-1 series lead. Miller takes the lead for Winnipeg, 2-1 on Dominic Hasek here in the third period. A 3-1 lead. Where's the big guy scoring for Winnipeg? It's goddamn Nino Niederreiter and Colin Miller. Is that his first name? Regardless, they win game 4 and we got ourselves a series. Pivotal game number 5 here in Winnipeg. We are tied up at 1 apiece heading into the third. It's been a close affair, really, on the entire series. Buffalo took the first 2. Obviously, Winnipeg won the last 2. And here we are, a best of 3 to see who wants the Stanley Cup more than the other team. Again, another stalemate. Never mind. Owen Power takes the lead with like a minute remaining. And the Buffalo Sabres now are 1 victory away from winning Lord Stanley. All right, Buffalo fans, hold on to your seats here. They're down 3-2 heading into the third period. Are we headed back to Winnipeg for a game 7 or on home ice? Will the Sabres be able to raise Lord Stanley? 34 shots to 17. They are getting thoroughly outplayed of the Sabres. 5 minutes to go. They're down by 1. They need some heroics. Owen Power, where are you at, brother? You were clutch last game, but this game, there it is. It looks like we're headed back to 7. Do or die, winner take all. The best 2 words in all of sports. Game 7, here we go. 1-0 lead for Winnipeg after 1. Second period of 4-1 lead for the Jets. Not looking too great for Buffalo, who had a 2-0 series lead and then a 3-2 series lead. Please tell me they're not going to choke it away. Jack Quinn gets them back to within 2, but it's still a 2-goal game with like 7 minutes remaining here in the third period. 5-2, Mark Scheifele basically put the nail in the coffin. The Winnipeg Jets on the back of Teemu Selanne, who had possibly, well, not really possibly, he did have the greatest rookie season of all time, and they will go on in the third and final year and take home the Stanley Cup on home ice here in Winnipeg for the first time in franchise history. As well, the Buffalo Sabres choked that away. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They had a 2-0 series lead, a 3-2 series lead, and just could not close the deal. Mark Scheifele, Conn Smythe winner. He had 11 goals and 27 points. A very good postseason run by him. And who knows, maybe he had a couple more hits like the Jake Evans one a few years ago back in like 2021. By the way, that hit was clean. I don't want to hear anything about it. That was a clean hit. You can't put your head down trying to go for a wraparound on an empty netter and not expect in the playoffs to get your shit absolutely rocked. But enough of that, as Adam Lowry, who's probably the least popular captain in the league, will raise Lord Stanley for Winnipeg. As the Oilers did not go 3 straight, they went back-to-back, and in the final season, the Winnipeg Jets, an all-Canadian dominance here in NHL 25, as 3 straight Canadian teams will take home the cup. Connor McDavid will win the Lindsay, the Art Ross and Hart Trophy. Draisaitl, the Maurice Richard. Bobby Orr gets his Norris. The Conn Smythe, of course, went to Mark Scheifele. Shout out Matvei Mishkov winning the Calder. Jake Ottinger win the Vezina and the Selke again, 3 years in a row to Alexander Barkov. Well, that is going to do it for this video as we went ahead, added one NHL legend to every single franchise, and the Oilers, not really much of a surprise, dominated 2 straight, but then Winnipeg, little bit of a surprise. I mean, Timo Solani is what, like a 93 overall, so he's not no chump in this game. They got it done in the 3rd season. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Wrap your willy.